Hello everybody and welcome to Milestone Study. My name is Anusha and in this video we are going to talk about describe image question which is under speaking section for 2025. So far, you must have known that PTE has introduced some human intervention in two types of questions that are describe image and retell lecture. So it's no longer just the template that you can use. It's no longer just also about, and it's no longer you can see, I can see. You have to use the content properly. Otherwise, the examiner is going to mark you 0. If you get 0 for the content portion, you get 0 for the whole task, okay? We believe that it is 5 points for one described image, so do not risk those 5 marks. I'll walk you through all the things that you have to do in describe image, starting from what you need to practice and how you need to practice to all the templates that you can use possibly in the exam. Let's begin by talking about what happens in the describe image question. First of all, I'm going to take you to our website milestonestudy.com.au where you can practice all the practice questions, all the exam questions that can appear in your exam as well. As we all know that PT questions keep repeating, and if you are lucky enough, you can get one of the questions from those practice questions. All right, we are on the dashboard where all the questions are listed. We are focusing on describe image question, which is right there. There are 938 questions of describe image alone. Imagine you doing all the questions and then you getting one of them, okay? I know it is time consuming, but somebody who's very weak at speaking and they're not getting their target score, it's worth it, okay, guys? So, all right, we're ready to practice. Now you can see the interface. There will be question. Look at the image. Let me just zoom in a little. Look at the image below. In 25 seconds, please speak into the microphone. That means we get 25 seconds to prepare our question, okay? And describe in detail what the image is showing. So this image is showing us the title, the country names. There are millions of users on the x-axis, y-axis. These are the things that it is showing. And then you have 40 seconds to give your response. That means out of 40 seconds, we can speak around 20 to 30 seconds. See, before the changes, PTE had no rule of speaking of like limit of time limit. You could speak for 10 seconds and still get full points. But at this point, what they have categorically said is you need to speak more. And the more you speak, the better marks, the better chances that you're getting more marks, okay? So what I recommend is speaking about 20 to 30 seconds. Don't need to go all above 40 seconds, yeah? Because sometimes images don't have enough information for you to keep going for 40 seconds. So where the information is not enough, you can speak for 20 to 30 seconds. But if you have lots of information, why not? You can speak throughout the time of 40 seconds, okay? This is for 2025, so clearly we know that this is being marked by human. First thing that you need to know are the image types. What are the types? One is a bar graph. It could be a vertical one, it could be a horizontal one. You see bars, that's a bar graph. Pie chart, you see a pie, you see a pizza kind of stuff, that's a pie chart. Obviously, there will be percentages mentioned. Inline graph, you see a line, that's a line graph, okay? Especially when you see a line graph, there will be an increasing trend or a decreasing trend or a fluctuating trend. Photo of anything like this is a photo, so you can see a pretty woman. Yeah, that's a photo. And life cycle of a moth, life cycle of any plant. There will be some days given, some weeks given. Yeah, that's a life cycle. Next, you will know I've already told you this, that you have 25 seconds to practice. So that means you look at the image, you check what is the highest point, what is the most important point, what is the least important point, the colors and all the upgoing and all the increasing and decreasing trends. After the practice time, you get the beep tone, okay? Remember to speak exactly after the beep tone, immediately after the beep tone. This is one way where you can lose points for fluency. If you speak late, you lose the marks. So the response time is for 40 seconds, where I already told you you have to speak 20 plus, 20 seconds plus, could be 25, 30, 35, or even 40, okay, depending on how complicated the picture is or how much you can explain. Number of tasks, there are 3 to 4 pictures. Look, if you got 3 pictures, you might want to use 3 different templates or 3 different ways of explaining. You don't want to keep repeating the same things over and over again, because the examiner is smart enough to identify if you're using any pre-planned structures, okay? So whatever, if there are 3 images or 4 images, you have to be creative at all of them. Next is the marks. You get marks towards speaking only. No listening, no reading, or no writing will be affected here. And we assume it's 5 marks for each image. Now, those 5 points will be divided into 3 different categories: content, oral fluency, and pronunciation. Before, we used to say content doesn't matter in describe image, but now the story has changed. Content matters. Why? Because humans like myself will be checking the content, and they are expert enough, they are well trained to check whether you have given the right content or you're just speaking bluff. Nobody would speak bluff at this point, okay? Because that means again 0 in the content and 0 overall. Now, after content, we've got oral fluency, no hesitation, no pauses. Like, natural pauses are fine, but you can't be waiting for a long time, okay? And speak fast. Speaking fast is another way to get full points in fluency. If you're speaking slow enough, very slow, your fluency will be down automatically. Then the third point is pronunciation. You need to have native-like pronunciation to get full points. I don't think I have native-like pronunciation, but somehow the other person will understand what I'm saying, because I use the muscles of my tongue, muscles of my mouth in such a way that all the sounds get created. So as non-native speakers, we don't have to imitate the accent, we just have to pronounce the words properly. So for better pronunciation, try some tongue twisters, try some phonetics, okay? There will be plenty of videos, I'm sure you can improve your pronunciation using those tools. Anyway, that's for another video. Now, next is technicalities. After you get 25 seconds of the practice time, you get a short beep tone like beep. You need to speak immediately, which I already explained. Then comes the microphone. If you don't speak, see, this is the right place for the microphone, okay? You don't put it in front of your mouth. You just have it right in front of your chin, the tip of the chin. If you don't speak immediately after the beep tone and you wait for about 4 or 5 seconds before speaking, the microphone will turn off automatically and your voice will not be detected. Your answer will not be recorded. Okay, so speak before 3 seconds. I would say speak just right away. Okay, do not wait. Finish speaking before the progress bar reaches the end. So whatever you're saying in conclusion, da 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 da, okay, and then you have to finish speaking before the bar ended. If you don't give conclusion, that's another problem. Your conclusion must be there in your answer, because that's the guideline we are getting. Look, if you just use the word in conclusion or finally or in the end, that's enough. So you just say finally it is about da da da. Okay, I'll go into much detail about it later on. If you see that the recording bar changes to completed, that means nothing is being recorded anymore. You need to click next. Okay, next. Oh yeah, one more point. To get full points in fluency, you need to click next immediately after finishing. Once you finish speaking your last word, you need to click next right away. Do not wait for more time, okay? Because waiting means less fluency. Next, let's talk about the strategies and templates. As you already know, there might be a bar graph, a pie chart, life cycle, just a photo of something random, or it could be a line chart, yeah? Or it could be something combination of all, one bar graph, one pie chart, two pie charts, something complicated, okay? But don't panic. You can do it. We've got some strategies, some templates, and some practice into it, and you should nail it, okay? Look, people are still getting 90 band, 90 in speaking by even after humans are getting introduced, okay? So that means it's still a computerized test. Humans are maybe not that strict as well. Right, so what is the first thing? When you get a bar graph, a pie chart, or a line graph, you can use simply first thing, the title. Yeah, always in an image, there will be a title. So you speak about the title first, and then you can use the highest feature. You have to say the lowest feature, okay? Then you can use some other information, some extra information there, and then you can use the conclusion sentence. Apart from this, you can also talk about what is given on the x-axis, what is given on the y-axis, okay? In pie chart, you don't see x-axis and y-axis, yeah? So that's why it's hard to give you one particular template for each image. And also because lots of you are going to watch this video, if everyone uses the same template, again, we are in the same loop. The examiner is going to detect that, oh no, everyone is using the same template, okay? So we don't want that to happen. You need to keep changing the template as you go with each image, okay? Now let's talk about what can you say when you are talking about the title. First thing you can say is the picture is about. Very easy. The picture is about, and then you give the title. Okay, let's write them down. Here, the picture is about something. Something means that's already given on the top. Another sentence you can use here is this picture shows. Okay, shows dot dot dot. Another one is this image. Now, whether you say picture or image, try to just mix and match. The image, the picture, the illustration. This image represents dot dot dot. Okay. This picture demonstrates. Okay. Enough. And then you put that title over there. If there are years given, you can put the years as well. After you've set the topic, then you can say what is on the x-axis and what is on the y-axis. Okay, that's extra because in pie chart you don't have that. So here I can write down, here you can write down, you can say x-axis and y-axis. What's given on x-axis and what's given on y-axis. For that you don't need a template. You just can say in the x-axis I can see, or x-axis shows, y-axis shows, okay? Highest feature. What is the highest point? Must say this, okay? What is the highest point? The highest point is this. The highest year, the highest population, yeah, the highest element, the highest feature is, okay? The lowest feature is, the lowest element is, the lowest point is, the lowest temperature is, whatever is given in the picture. Dot, 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 dot. Other information like da 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 can also be seen. Now, I'm using this da 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 da, but I'm gonna demonstrate by going to a picture. This is just the theory part, okay? And then in the end or in the conclusion, or finally, can be observed that, then give the conclusion, okay? Now let's have a look at a bar graph or a pie chart or a line graph. Okay, now here you can see I've already got 25 seconds. So I'm gonna think of the biggest pie, which is others. Others like picnic areas have got 25%. There So this is about ornamental plants, recreational areas, agricultural crops, and food production infrastructure, okay? And highest is here, and the lowest is perennial food, which crops, which is 1%, okay? At least this you have to say, and the rest you can just keep saying annual food is this much, parts is this much, grassy areas this much. You don't have to really understand the picture when it is a pie chart. Now, let me show you by speaking. This picture shows different categories of agricultural crops, food production infrastructure, ornamental plants, and recreational areas, where the highest pie is in the recreational areas with picnic areas with 25%, and then the lowest is at the agricultural crops, which is perennial food crops at 1%. The other one is paths with 20% and compost, rainwater, and harvesting tool sheds with 3%. Others, like woody perennials, are also at 9% and flowers with 12%. Grassy areas is at 8%. Also, it can be seen that the most chunk is taken by recreational areas in the end. Okay, now this is what I was able to say. Okay, in any website, in anything that you are doing, just remember that humans are going to check in the real exam, whereas here it is checked by AI. Okay, yeah, so this is the way where I talked about food production. I said there are different variables or components or elements like this and that, and then the highest is here and the lowest is here, and then I just give chunks of other percentages. Okay, all right, now this is interesting because it's got a lot of them, three charts: morning class, afternoon class, and evening class. So it's just saying that men attend evening classes more, and morning and afternoon women attend more. But then it increases, men increases and the women decreases. Okay, yeah. There are two different charts here which shows that women are likely to take morning and afternoon classes where men are likely to take evening classes. In the line chart, it is showing how the number of men increases as the evening classes increases, and then how women decreases from morning class to afternoon class to evening class. Both of the pie charts are telling us the same thing, that women are more likely to attend the day classes while men are more found in the evening classes, and that is common in all parts of the world. Okay, now I know that I didn't, I said that all part of the world without that being on the image. There is no country mentioned or no world mentioned here. Um, that's just me. Okay, I just like to make things up when I tend to hesitate. Okay, now here I got full points. Doesn't mean in the exam I would get full content marks. And one reason is I didn't mention any numbers. I should have. Okay, but with the heat of the moment, I wasn't able to, just to maintain my flow. Okay, but remember, practice makes better. Okay, let's take another one. Shopping methods, effects on consumer satisfaction. There are 500 consumers, so the research is on 500 consumers. It shows that bought privately, they are more satisfied. Local shop, more satisfied. If they buy negative, is less. The picture represents shopping methods like local shop, internet, supermarket, and buying privately, like from a friend or a family. Its effects on consumer satisfaction is also given, and there are 500 consumers as a base. There are three components like positive, neutral, and negative. People are seen to be more positive when they buy it from a friend. For example, it is at around 80%, whereas from local shop, it is the second highest, around 70%, and then comes the least, which is internet, around less than 50%. They're also showing that they are negative when they are buying from the internet. So it is likely that people want to buy it from friends or family to become positive or having positive effects. Okay, so I've spoken for the full 40 seconds. It was not easy, guys, okay? Because first you had to think of the components, then you had to speak at flow, okay? It is a challenging job, but that's what you have to do. Keep practicing. All right, now let's move on to some other types of pictures. Okay, now in this image, the title is very clear: fictional novels read per 1,000 people, and it seems that adolescent boys read the most with around where 140 people are reading, whereas female adults read the least at 50. This picture shows fictional novels read per 1,000 people, where there are different categories like male adults, female adults, adolescent boys, adolescent girls, which are at the age of 15 to 18 years, and child male and child female. On the y-axis, there are different numbers from 0 to 160. It is clearly seen from the picture that we can have that adolescent boys want to read fictional novels the most, which is at 140 people out of 1,000, and female adults do not want to read it as much, with 50 people only. It also is very clear that females want to read fictional novels the least, whereas boys like them the most. Okay, now here we go. So the picture was very definitive, it was self-explanatory. Even the words like categories are mentioned here. X-axis, y-axis is very clear, okay? And even the bars are loud and clear. So in this kind of pictures, you should be fine. We've done pie chart, we've done bar graph. Let's see a line graph if we can. All right, so this is a line graph. Heading is clear. Left x-axis is the years, y-axis is the percentage, fluctuating, and the highest is 105%, and the lowest is in 2003 with 95%. 2001 is the highest. Okay, and then the graph is erratic, or the graph is fluctuating. This is a line graph where manufacturing output in the UK is presented. On the x-axis, we can see different years from 1999 to all the way up to 2007. On the y-axis, we can see the percentage starting from 92 and all the way up to 108. It can be clearly seen that in the year 2003, or in between 2002 and 2003, it was the lowest manufacturing output with 95%, whereas in the year 2001, or in between 2000 and 2002, there was a plateau with 105%. And overall, it can be seen that the graph is erratic, or it can be said as fluctuating. The most important thing is you're saying the highest, the lowest, and how the line graph is appearing. Is it in the upward trend, or it is decreasing, or it is fluctuating? There we go. Next is a life cycle. Okay, it's about the life cycle of a frog, and the first stage is eggs. Turns in from eggs to adult frog. Young frog. Its color is green. This picture represents the life cycle of a frog, how it turns from eggs to adult frog. The first stage is eggs, where it turns into tadpoles. Lots of tadpoles then become tadpoles with lungs. That means lungs develop after some time. After lungs, they develop legs, and slowly they become froglet, which is a tiny frog. And after that, they become a young frog, which later on changes to adult frogs. This is the overall life cycle of a frog, of how it changes from eggs to adult frogs. Okay, now you see there were no numbers, like there were no timeline, yeah, that it turns in after 2 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever. So I just had to skip that and talk about the rest of the things. Okay, I try to extend it as much as possible. You see this first, how it turns from eggs to adult frog, that is the extension. Then also in the end, I also said something like the life cycle of a frog, of how it changes from eggs to adult frogs. Yeah, it's a different story that it's taking my eggs as X. Okay, obviously this AI detection is another whole different level. Okay, so that is about a life cycle. Let's see if I can find one more life cycle. All right, this is not a life cycle of any animal, but it is a life cycle or a flow chart where radiata pine thinnings happen. It's a plantation to paper. So how plants turn to paper. Okay, debarking, drum, chipper, thermomechanical refiner, water, and then paper. This picture shows how plants convert to paper through different various processes. The first step is we are taking plants from like radiata pine thinnings, and then from maybe a forest. They are then processed through debarking drum. After that, it runs through a chipper. That means they are being processed step by step. Then it runs through thermomechanical refiner where heat is provided because thermo means heat. And after that, water is inserted. Then it gets mixed and into the paper making machine. It will turn into paper. Okay. I did make a mess a little bit, but yeah, because you have to think of those verbs like run it, go through, turns into, goes. Yeah, these are things that are not templates, guys, but something natural. And that's what the computer is hoping us to do. Okay. I'm gonna show you one more. Okay, this is complicated. Uh, okay, so how this is about how acid rain or fog or snow and mist um, occurs. This picture demonstrates how industry, transportation, ore smelting, and power generation can change different types of gases into precipitation. The first step is emissions from these resources are taken to the atmosphere in the form of nitrogen oxides and sulfur dioxide. Then above the surface of the earth, there is chemical transformation happening that changes into nitric acid and sulfuric acid. There are two ways after that. Either they fall out as particulates like dust particles and pollution or gases that are harmful to the society, or they condense as acid rain and fog, snow, and mist, which is also harmful to the environment. Okay. All right, so that is the content, guys. So as you are planning out the content, it is likely that you will also miss out on the fluency, okay? So don't get panicked again. Don't be sad about it, okay? You can do it. Okay, let's talk about some pictures where there is nothing written, okay? What can I see? Here you can talk about some food. That's rice. That's some meat, juice. One glass is empty and the other is full. This picture shows that friends are having dinner together. There are almost four people there in the picture, but their faces are blurred. They're having some eggs there. I can see that on the plate. One of them is having some drink and the other one is having coffee. And there is water as well, but one glass is full and the other is empty. One of them is having juice and their plate is full, so probably they're just starting to have their dinner, and also they're having some conversation, and it can be seen that it is a nice lunch or dinner plan. Okay, I'm not sure if it is a dinner or night lunch plan. Nothing is written. Okay, in this image there is no right or wrong. It's just imagination. Okay, so go ahead and say anything that you can. You can say it's an orange juice, it's a latte, it's whatever coffee, and they're using fork and knife or spoon to eat. Um, they're talking with each other. One of them has glasses, another one has no glasses. They may be couples, like one male, another female, another male, another female. Okay, and one is using a straw. There are two people using straws. Okay, see, this is the thing. You can say anything and everything in these kinds of images. It's just open-ended answer. Okay. Okay, this is a line graph. It shows international students on a pre-sessional course at Southfield University. X-axis has got years and y-axis has got number of students. It increases throughout the year and highest is 2008 and the lowest is 2000. 100, 550. This picture clearly demonstrates the number of international students on a pre-sessional course at Southfield University. On the x-axis, we can see different years all the way from 2000 to 2008. And then from the x-axis, we can see there are a number of students from 0 to 600. It is clearly seen that the least number of students is in the year 2000 with only 100 people. And then gradually it increases with the spikes, that is the highest in 2008, where there are 550 students. It is seen that the graph is fluctuating, but the overall graph is increasing in the end. Okay. All right, I think I did pretty well here. So this is one way. Okay, now you can see that without the template is lots better if you know how to speak fluently. But if you are hesitating a lot to create plans and ideas in your head, definitely we have templates. Okay, so let's go back to our strategies. We have only talked about how to describe a bar graph, pie chart, and line graph. Here, if it's a life cycle, you can use the title, which we did. You can say the first stage is this. Then after that, after some days, in the end, and then you have to speak for 20 seconds at least, okay, out of 40 seconds. You can take a screenshot of this page and work out on your own. If there is only a picture like we just did about that dinner, you can make a title if the title is not given. Okay, if the title is given, easy for us. Then you can explain whatever components or items you can see, like table, cups, glasses, people. Okay, how many people? Talk about colors, size, and shape. What shape, what size? Is it bigger, is it smaller, is it circular, is it red, green? Then you speak about numbers. How many people were there? How many glasses are there? How many lunch packages are there? Okay, and in the conclusion, what you can think of it. Like, I think it is a nice dinner plan. I think it is a nice lunch plan. Okay, that is the conclusion. For the templates, you can go through our website. Let me show you where it is. Okay, you go here, practice, PTE practice, study materials, and then templates. Remember, we are doing PTE Academic and not PTE Core, okay? If you scroll down, you will find templates for PTE Core. Don't worry about that. Okay, all the templates are here. And for describe image, you can see on the top, template A and template B. Not everyone should use a template. You should only use a template if you are really weak. If you can manage a bit, don't use a template, okay? But here are the things that you can say. The heading, the title, the given picture or chart represents the number of people using internet. There are various components on the x-axis, on the y-axis, such as this, this, and that. The most notable feature means the highest is this, whereas the least is this. Similarly, it can be observed that, and then you give one more point. And in conclusion, it provides crucial information about, again, you can repeat the heading or you can give some information about it, okay? Template B, if you are using another image. The chart represents or presents information about something where x-axis and y-axis, where all the components, okay, blue, green, yellow, whatever, are given. Among them, the highest noteworthy element is. So highest is 2008 at 550, followed by 2007, 500, other details like so you give more details about percentages and numbers, also represent how the trend is changing. Finally, it can be noted that there is substantial variation in the number of people using internet. Okay, so the first sentence and the last sentence is pretty much the template, whereas in the middle you use the highest and lowest and some other information. Okay, that is the plan for the entire describe image. Now, it's all up to you whether you want to use a template or you don't want to use the template. If I have to go for the test at this point, I'll not use a template. Okay, guys, I hope this explains a lot and clears your confusion, your doubts a lot about describe image. If you still got things to ask, put them down in the comment section and we'll try to reply to you as best as we can. If you are looking for some classes, some practice, some consultation, some mock test, please feel free to contact us. You can always subscribe to our website, milestonestudy.com.au. And upgrade your VIP to practice from the portal. This is Anusha. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button because that's what motivates us to keep going forward and to keep giving you the content. Next time, I'm thinking to come with summarized spoken text template, okay, or essay template. So let me know what you want to watch next time and I'll see you there.